Hello and welcome to the Infor LN 10.4 rollout training on the topic integrating with Infor PCM. Infor PCM stands for Infor Product Configuration Management. My name is Ron Perrin and I will be your instructor of this training. Here is today's agenda. After we have completed this presentation, a system demo will follow. The Infor LN integration with Infor PCM offers the LN customers an alternative configuration management solution next to the existing and embedded product configurator solution, also known as PCF. PCF functionality remains to exist, both for existing as well for new customers, although industries that are demanding strong configure to order and configure to quote capabilities, Infor PCM is to be considered as the go-to and go-forward solution. This is also reflected as such in the Infor's Cloud Suite offering, where PCM is positioned as an add-on to the LN system. The integration with PCM is not completely new for version 10.4. Already back in 2010, the development of the integration with PCM already started. Initially, an integration was built with the TDI configurator. This was released with Infor LN FP7 back in 2011. At that point in time, we wanted to improve configuration capabilities of LN product configurator by offering an attractive front end to configure an item. The concept of integration was that the chosen features and options for the features were communicated back to LN, and it was PCF which was responsible for generating the related custom BOM and custom routing. In 2012, with the release of Infor LN 10.2, refinements were made to the existing integration with Infor PCM. And in 2013, with the release of 10.3, also the integration of PCM Sales Portal was offered to the customers to enable web-based quoting and ordering capabilities. Now, with the release of Infor 10.4, we have extended integration with Infor PCM configurator by enabling PCM to configure both BOM and routing within PCM with no dependencies to PCF within LN. In addition, also refinements are made to the Infor PCM Sales Portal integration. So in brief, if we compare PCM with Infor LN PCF, and when taking into consideration the industries with high demanding product configuration needs, we can conclude that PCF falls short on different key areas of a configurator solution. PCM can not only provide a solution to these key areas, but also accelerates with its offering on these areas. In brief, it can be stated that the PCF configurator has a focus much more inbound to engineering, and Infor PCM has a focus much more as a sales enabler, helping sales to increase sales and reduce costs. key message here is that PCM with LN amplifies the configure to quote and configure to order process, which can lead to increased sales. Think, for example, that there is less time required to configure an order. Reducing costs. Think about the option of positioning Sales Portal as a self-service quoting and ordering portal. As well, it can do brand differentiation for customers, because a superior buyer experience that can be found with Sales Portal will increase customer loyalty and will have customers return and place orders once again to the company.
Infor Cloud Suite Industrial is a fully integrated end-to-end solution offering deep manufacturing functionality, flexibility, and lower total cost of ownership. Infor Cloud Suite Industrial meets escalating customer demands with a complete suite of capabilities for managing complex value chains, fast-paced product launches, shortening cycle times, product configurations, and more. With Cloud Suite Industrial, you get all the benefits that Infor's secure cloud hosting environment has to offer, including accelerated deployment, lower total cost of ownership, simplified upgrades, and a platform for sustainable growth and business collaboration with Infor Mingle. Only Infor Cloud Suite Industrial offers an end-to-end solution with both the functionality and business processes tailored to meet the complex demands of make-to-order and engineer-to-order manufacturers. Let's take a look at a manufacturing company managing the customer and order configuration management process. Jack, our sales manager, receives a request from a customer and registers the opportunity with sales operations and starts the process. Jack logs in first thing in the morning and sees a new opportunity from his customer, JD Machinery, for a press break. Jack has received this message as a post within Infor Mingle. Mingle is a centralized platform for social collaboration, business process improvement, and contextual analytics. By hitting the Share button, Jack can share the opportunity with Sam in sales operations with a message on what must be done. The message shows as posted within Infor Mingle on Jack's wall. Sam is in sales operations and will call the customer and work with them to configure their order, and if all goes well, take the order. You can see that Sam has received a message on her wall within Infor Mingle, including a direct link to the opportunity. Sam can go directly to the opportunity with a simple click. Sam can now manage the opportunity as well as review information that has been pushed to her. This information is in context based on the customer and where Sam is in the process. The contextual content can include maps of customer locations, or in-context business intelligence like sales history, win-loss ratios, and outstanding invoices. Having reviewed some base information and getting the customer on the phone, Sam is now ready to generate a quote for the customer. Sam now launches the product configurator. The configurator will display the options for this item to be configured for the customer. The configurator can be used by the sales team, your distributors, or even your customers directly to configure, price, and quote your products. After selecting the various options required to configure this item for this opportunity, Sam can review the details. Sam can review the final pricing details as well as the configuration options selected for this opportunity and create a proposal to send to the customer. After reviewing the automatically created proposal, Sam can send to the customer and secure a purchase order for this configured product. Sam gets the PO and shares the information with Jack. Sam drafts a message to Jack to let him know that the sales order has been created. Infor Mingle will search company contacts for Jack and return possible candidates based on the partial string so Sam can send the message to the right person. Sam can now post the message to Jack about the new sales order and send Jack direct links to the order so he can review it if necessary. Sam can see the message back to Jack on her wall, and Jack sees the message on his wall after being posted by Sam. Infor Cloud Suite Industrial gives you visibility into every facet of your enterprise: suppliers, customers, and product lifecycles, all within a secure infrastructure built specifically for manufacturing. Only Infor provides an end-to-end solution that is beautiful and easy to use from the shop floor to top floor, with out-of-the-box functionality and industry specialization with a swift implementation to get you quickly moving on your plans for growth. Remember, no two clouds are alike.
So let's continue with a solution overview, where we do focus on some of the new features that have been added to the integration of LN 10.4 with the PCM suite. Here is a picture of the integration architecture. As you can see, the integration with LN with PCM is a mix of both iron-based and web-based, web services-based integration. The iron-based integration will take care of sales order synchronization and master data synchronization between LN and PCM sales portal. As for configuration purposes, web services are in place to perform configuration and pass back configuration results between configurator and Infor LN. Here are some of the key integration features of LN with Infor's PCM configurator. As you can see, with releases before LN 10.4, a number of features were already supported in the integration. With the 10.4 integration, we added an additional number of features like the possibility to do item configuration when starting from a contract deliverable in LN projects. In addition, and which is also considered as to be the biggest improvement of the integration, is the fact that you can make PCM now solely responsible for generating a custom BOM and routing and passing back the results to Infor LN, whereby you completely bypass the PCF functionality in LN. Also, it is possible to now put a configuration in PCM on engineering hold, which means that during configuration you have added some features or selected some options that first need to be reviewed by engineering before the configuration can be approved and the sales order entry can, for example, be completed. Not only did we improve the PCM configurator integration, we also optimized the PCM sales portal integration with Infor 10.4. So let's have a look at some of the solution details of the 10.4 integration with PCM. First, to start, this slide will show you the different product configuration starting point that are now offered through the integration with PCM with LN 10.4. There is the option to quote an order starting from PCM sales portal and push the results towards LN to be executed either via shop floor control or via assembly control. Customers can also select to still make use of the sales quote solution in LN and pass the quoting results to a sales order in LN and have the results executed by either assembly control or shop floor control. In addition, and this is really new to Infor LN 10.4, it will be possible to start the configurator from my contract deliverable line in LN projects. It is also possible to configure an item that has been put on a project estimate or project budget line. This is also functionality that resides in LN project. So let's have a closer look to a configure to order process in which it is assumed that Infor PCM is the owner of the configuration model, meaning that item, BOM and routing are configured on PCM side and results are communicated back to Infor LN. We start within Infor LN by creating a sales order for a to configure item. At that point in time, the Infor PCM configurator is started and the customer can perform its configuration within PCM. In the background of item configuration, also a custom BOM routing and configuration based sales price structure will be generated. In addition, PCM can also take care of the creation of custom item code and custom item descriptions. Features with selected options as well the configuration based sales price is then communicated back to the sales order line within Infor LN. The customer can then resume with completion of sales order entry and approve the sales order. Once the sales order has been approved, similar as to using PCF, the customer can generate a project structure, which actually means that the structure of the configured item is customized. At that point in time, it is identified that the configuration resides in PCM and that LN will also ask PCM configurator to pass along custom BOM routing and item codes to LN, which are required to generate a project structure. Once this is done, the customer can continue the normal process of planning and execution within Infor LN. So we just talked through an example of a configure to order process. Here is an example where we have a configure to quote, making use of the quoting capabilities of Infor PCM. In this slide and in this process, we start with creating a quote for a configurable item in PCM Sales Portal. Similar as described in the slide before, PCM configurator will be used to do item configuration and will take care of the generation of a custom BOM and routing, custom item code, and generate a custom configuration based sales price. Only after the quote is accepted and is converted into a sales order. The sales order is actually processed and created in Infor. This is done through Ion and based on bots. A sales order for the configurable item is created, the features with selected options are communicated, and the configuration-based sales price structure is communicated as well through Infor. Because of the fact that the sales order has already been completed in PCM Sales Portal, the customer can continue to generate a project structure in Infor. Once again, it identifies that this is a PCM generated configuration and therefore will call PCM configurator to obtain the custom BOM, custom routing, and possible custom item codes and item description. Once this is received back from PCM configurator, the custom structure is generated and the customer can continue to plan and execute within Infor. In order to use PCM, you need to enable the PCM configurator integration concept parameter within Infor. As you can see, there is no specific PCM sales portal integration parameter, as this is an integration that operates through Ion and needs to be set up as such. Users can opt to have both PCF and PCM implemented in the same company at the same time. There are different scenarios possible for item configuration when both concepts are enabled. At a given point in time, the configuration of an item and its generation of a custom structure can either be done by PCF or by PCM. We do allow and facilitate to change this over time. So it can be the case that for a single item you first use PCF and at some point in time after replication of the model in PCM you switch and you use to configure this item PCM. There is still also the support of the concept where an item configuration is done in PCM and its structure generation is done in PCF. This is similar to the current logic, so the logic before 10.4 of the concept of the configuration integration. The huge drawback of this concept is that the configuration model needs to be maintained in both PCM for item configuration as well as PCF for the generation of a custom structure and the generation of custom item codes. The preferred scenario when we integrate with PCM is of course the scenario where you use solely PCM for product configuration. But this might pose a challenge for our current PCF customers, as they have invested a lot of time and effort in building their models within PCF, and these are not easy to convert into models into PCM. In this case, it can be considered to leave these existing PCF item and PCF models within Infor, and for new products or new to introduce product lines, start building their models in PCM and start to use PCM for these items onwards. The transition of a PCF model into PCM has to be done by manually replicating the model in PCM. We do not facilitate tools or functionality to convert existing PCF models into a PCM model. Once the concept parameter is set, there is still a number of sessions within LN the user has to go through and perform setup steps in order to have the integration up and running. These different steps are listed in this slide. These setup steps do not differ from the setup of the integration before Infor LN 10.4. These steps remain unchanged and have to go through when using LN 10.4 with PCM. Next to the setup within Infor LN for using the integration, users also need to be aware of the PCM functionality and also need to build in there the configuration models to be used. Once you start building the configuration models in PCM, and it is assumed that you will use PCM to not only provide item configuration but also with custom BOM and custom routing information and custom item codes, you need to ensure that you make use of the templates that are provided for the LN integration. These templates will be available within PCM Configurator. On the templates there are attributes that correspond to required data within the LN tables. Maybe not all the provisioned attributes on the templates are to be used, as some do refer to concepts which should not be using within LN. So this information is then not necessary to be created in PCM models and will not be passed along to LN. In this slide you see the different PCM templates that have been created to facilitate the integration of PCM with LN when assuming that PCM will provide custom BOM and custom routing information to LN for both assembly control as well as shop floor control execution within LN. To ensure the backward compatibility with the existing integration concept, on the PCM configurator settings the user can indicate that an item is configured through PCM and the structure is done either by PCF or not. If you indicate that the configurator is PCM configurator is used and the structure is done by PCF, you simulate the current integration concept of LN with the PCM configurator. When you assume PCM is responsible for full item configuration, also including BOM and routing configuration, the structure by PCF parameter is disabled or should not be enabled for this item or configuration group, which implies a category of items. In order to identify on product variant level who is the responsible configurator tool, which can be either PCF or PCM. The product variant lists information related to which configurator was used. An important note to make is that when you use PCM for doing configuration of item, BOM and routing, is that in case of multi-level configurable item structures, it is the user's responsibility to ensure that at moment of configuration of top level as well linked lower level configurable items, the same configurator tool is being utilized. This implies that for all configurable items in the structure, at that point in time, either PCF is used or PCM is used. A simultaneous use of two different configuration tools, like PCM and PCF, at the same point in time for items within the structure is not supported. In case you have selected to use PCM for the configuration of an item and generating of custom structures in PCM, there is no need to maintain a generic BOM or generic routing within Infor LN. This can cause for some issues from a forecasting perspective, as generic BOM and routing are utilized by enterprise planning to do forecasting. To solve this, there is some kind of generic structure required within LN. Therefore, within enterprise planning, there are two new sessions generated in which a user can, for a PCM controlled configurable item, define a generic BOM and generic routing for planning purposes only. This generic BOM and routing sessions is containing only a few fields that are applicable to planning. And it is also considered that these sessions only hold critical materials and resources, and not a full generic BOM or generic routing structure. In this presentation we did highlight the main features and function of the PCM integration, and we did focus on the new functionality delivered with Infor LN 10.4 when integrating with Infor PCM. When you start using this integration, or when you want to set it up, please make sure to go first through the integration guides that will be provided at the release of Infor LN 10.4. Within these integration guides, processes are described, known limitations are described, as well the different components that are required are listed. An integration guide will be provided for both integration into PCM configurator as PCM sales portal. Also, if you are new to PCM, which is Infor's product configuration management solution, you can go into Infor Campus where there are different PCM trainings available. On the other hand, on Infor sales portal, there is a dedicated site for Infor PCM in which you can find more collateral related to the PCM solution. So in summary, if we look to LN with PCM, it's really to amplify the configure to quote and configure to order processes. It's not that PCF will obsolete, but you can use PCM as an alternative configurator solution, as well as adding a sales portal, which is a multi-channel quotation and ordering management solution, to your process. In terms of positioning, it means that PCM will be the configurator tool. PCM sales portal will indeed take care of quotation and order management, and LN will be in place to do order execution. Highlighting the LN 10.4 to Infor PCM integration, the main differentiation with this integration is that now you can make PCM fully responsible for doing configuration model and configuration management, and in addition configuration pricing. There is no need in this case to implement PCF to support this. Everything can be done within PCM, and results of the configuration can be passed back into LN and can be utilized there to continue with the process of execution. For PCF customers, it does not mean they have to move directly to PCM. They can still use PCF, but also PCF customers can choose to deploy a mixed mode implementation making use of PCF and PCM, with also keeping in mind transition to PCM, both for existing items configured by PCF, as well as new items to start using PCM. In this demo we show a configure to order process for an item in LN that is configured solely through PCM configurator. We have an item called wood door, which is a generic item in LN. It's a configurable item and it's supplied through shop floor control. It is an item part of the configuration group demo, and for this configuration group demo we have set up configurator settings within LN. All items that are part of the demo configuration group are assumed to be fully configured by PCM configurator. When we look at the generic BOM and generic routing of the wood door in LN, we see that there are non-existing. Like I mentioned before, the configuration model is set up in PCM. There's also no constraints defined within Infor LN for this specific wood door item. So let's add a sales order line for this wood door item. We create a new line, enter the item wood door, and you will see that automatically PCM configurator is started to perform item configuration. Here we can do the option selection for the features defined in the model. In this model we also indicate that at selection we want to create customized items for the wood door. Once configuration is done, we come back into LN and we see that the information like pricing has already been stored on the sales order line. We continue the sales order line processing and approve the sales order line. After approval of the sales order line, we are able to generate the custom structure by means of generate project structure for the sales order. At this point in time, custom BOM and custom routing information and custom item codes are obtained from PCM configurator. And we do also see this on the sales order line because the generic item has been replaced by a custom item code. You can also see that the selected options belonging to the features have been stored in LN, and also see that the sales price structure has been stored into LN. At the same time, we can also see that custom bill of material has been imported from PCM into LN for the custom item. The same is valid for the custom routing for this item. It was generated in PCM and it was retrieved by LN from PCM. Now that this information is in LN, we are able to continue with planning and actual order execution. You can see that after configuration there is still no generic BOM and routing in the system or constraints being added. In this demo we show the integration between Sales Portal and Infor LN. We start with the addition of a new quote within Sales Portal. We select our customer, select our configurable item, and start the configuration of this item. We select here the different options belonging to the features that have been defined in the configuration model. Once we have completed the configuration, we will return to the quote. And we see on quote level the quote line with the configured item, the price, etc. We can then convert the quote into a sales order. This is all done within Sales Portal. At the moment the order is being created or the quote has been converted into an order in Sales Portal, the sales order is also created in Infor LN. can see here that the configurable item is present on the sales order line, its price, as well as the different options related to the variant. It is possible to recalculate or reconfigure the item starting from the sales order line within LN.